Hello, hello. Hi, Jensen Vars here. Welcome to this stream. I'm not sure whether this is already on or not. I'm a bit inexperienced, I admit. But I'm gonna give it a few seconds to make sure I get the right stats and have a view of who's there in the chat. Hey! Oh wow, I see two people in the chat. Welcome. I see multiplayer. David, welcome again. It's a pleasure to have you guys. I'm not getting yet a clear picture of who's there on the line, but I hope my voice and music is at the right set of volumes. We've got an interesting session today because it's the first session. Assuming yesterday was just the setup of the game, because we started from scratch, generated some plot seeds and some world around this area of Symbaroum. I think, if I remember, we were somewhere here in an outpost called the Fort Prius by the Church of Prius. It's a very important faction, religious faction of the civilized world of the north of the Titans, but right south of the forest of the Davokar, which is this huge, enormous, dark forest with lots of secrets and very, very little of it's actually explored. And our characters began here as captives, as prisoners. Thank you. Hey, David. Hey, Philip. Began as prisoners, and they were caught in a clash between two clans. The Vayodas, the names are a bit strange, I admit. And the other clan is, if I remember correctly, the Vaivod. So these are two clans competing with each other for both trade, the attention of the queen, because these two clans are quite south of what's normally considered the barbarian lands. And yes, in this, what was happening is that the characters were involved in some dark ritual because they essentially are part of one of these clans. And in this ritual they wanted, or let's say, they were going to cause or search for some secrets that the other clan did not like. And for this reason they were attacked, captured, the ritual interrupted, and in the middle of that assault, one very important component of the ritual, what we called here the Stone of Ixar, and that's the game name I give to this campaign, or short adventure, because I intend to play very not an extensively long game. So this Stone of Ixar was a component of this ritual which wasn't finished, got stolen. And it turns out this plot seed is a bit complicated because as the characters were captive by one of these clans, this lady here, Annabella Argona, she is the daughter of an important figure of the Prius domain, intercepted the caravan where the PCs were prisoners of and captured them for themselves. So, if that makes sense so far, after a few, let's say, hours, they arrived eventually to the Fort of Prius, where they could take a rest. They were welcome in some way because they are barbarian people. The the characters are like not part of the kingdom, but they were somehow strangely welcome. And it turns out Annabella is seeking for this Stone of Ixar, which was stolen in this chaotic encounter. That's the plot seed. First of all, a bit of disclaimer to the 4 viewers. I'm very surprised. Thank you so much for being here with me. This is not a prepared show, so things might go south. I might get stuck. Please be considered. I'm just having fun like you, and I hope you learn something out of this, because this is just me playing solo. I am playing the storyteller, the game master, player of 3 PCs, and also I'm kind of a beta tester of a new version of Plot Unfolding Machine, because as you know, I cannot stop refining this Oracle I've been working on since ever. What's new in this plot unfolding machine preview version is that it has a list, so you can kind of customize your game to what you're playing, not unlike Mythic where you have your own thread and character lists. These are a bit more specific kind of lists, so we have world aspects, relevant actors, story troubles, and active leads. And we have this bar in the middle which represents the plot track, so it should be easier for me to finish this adventure, because as each time I play in a scene beat, I progress this token to the next box. Alright, so I'm getting closer to the resolution phase, and that's what I'm testing here. It's like I want to make sure plot unfolding machine helps me unfold this plot seed we set up in the previous session together with you. Yes, I am an addict, Philip, I know. I actually should be in the gym. But anyways, I won't go to personal stuff. I'm here because it became late for me to go out. Anyways, let's see if the plot unfolding machine helps us unfold this plot seed, which is quite interesting. It's set on this ruins of the Symbaroum setting. We are in clash of barbarian tribes. Oh yeah, no, I will for sure struggle multiplayer, believe me, I struggle a lot. So, world aspects we have clashing barbarian clans. The Ixar has been stolen, so we don't know exactly what does that mean to the world. Apparently this artifact is incredibly powerful, can see into the beyond, and it might cause some disruption in this land. Third world aspect is the Voivode. It's time of the Voivode sacrifice calendar. Don't ask me how we came to that one. And then the Prius domain is expanding. Like, these religious guys are taking over certain areas, apparently doing some activities in the region. Relevant actors, we've got a bunch of people here. This should be refined as we play. We've got tribe from the old Davoya, tribe people from the Voivode, Annabella herself. I think I will remove her because she's just a plot giver. Story troubles, we've got angry side of the Voivode, so the people who captured us and then lost us. There are some elves in Davokar, because why not? Wilderness. And I'm gonna add some cool potential story trouble from the... Which one? Core book, the Monster Codex. I'm gonna write down a random page and maybe we can add that to the story trouble. I'm not sure if that will work out well. Let's see. Let's take 2d20 and see. Oh yeah, version 6 of the plot unfolding machine is fine. I think it's an improvement. Of course, the layout and style is good, but still it's not like achieving what I wanted to achieve, which is like getting us to an end of a game, like actually finishing things. So this is 17. So page 17, Monster Codex. What do we have? Ooh, that's something we might encounter. I don't want to spoil myself ahead. And these are called Bestial. I really cannot read this font. According to their own tales, the age-old race of shapeshifters calling themselves Bestials began as allies to the humans of Symbaroum, but eventually became their slaves and enemies, judging by some of the fragmentary mosaics found at Odaban, assumed to tell about the siege of Symbar. The Bestials fought against the humans alongside the elves. That kind of makes sense because we wanted to add some sort of elves here. I don't know what that means, but I'm gonna add these monsters in the potential story troubles, because why not? Oh, there's even an adventure set up here, plot seed. Next time I might run a prepared form of them. So there's a clawing fighter, quick read over here and there. I really hope I don't face these guys early on, but let's add them. Come over here, Elvis in Davokar. I'm gonna switch this. The Bestial Masters, those are the elves, and the Bestial Monsters themselves, I guess, Wilderness could mean like wild animals and beasts or magical monsters, some sort of random encounter. Great, I think that's all we need. Active leads, what do we know so far? We know there's an imp called Ivor, holds the secrets, and we also know the imp Ivor is in dire danger. We know the stone, who touches or hears it is exposed to danger, and then this is not a lead, I'm gonna remove it. What else do we know? We know the robbers. We know the robbers of the stone are mystical in nature, because otherwise they could not have stolen the stone. I think we are ready to proceed from here. And let's go on for the next scene. The first scene of the night. Our characters, Hydra the sorceress, Rother the thief, and Goltas the runic goblin warrior, are in Fort Prius. This is a place of both military prowess, a fortress in construction, and at the same time a source of knowledge, because we revealed that the source of this fortress is an underground vault where large tomes of books were being extracted from. That's all we know. The mood over there is quite grim. We talked about several priests moving here and there on their own business. Also military, so the military of the Prius domain are called Templars. They are like soldiers in dark colored armor, taking protection to both pilgrims, to what seems to be a source of holy or sacred value, and at the same time making watch. And the PCs are never left alone. There is a priest. He was with the characters, following them and leading them around the place, giving them shelter, and along them 2 Templars. And Annabella had given them, like, they arranged together to look and seek for this imp, a demon in the north or south of the forest, who might know where the stone is, because it might be able to feel it. Annabella leaves, and in the next scene our PCs are going to follow the scouts of Annabella towards the north as they are ready into their adventure. They look around and they start thinking and talking to each other. "Do we need anything before we part?" says Rother. Hydra says, "I'm as ready as we can be." "I am of course ready," says Goltas, the goblin who has a huge bastard sword on his back. But currently he's like playfully dragging it over the sand of the ground. People around them don't look at them very welcoming, and we begin to march towards the north. With that said, I'm gonna roll for the first scene beat and get into the confrontation zone. That says a number 1 here. That means we should play an unexpected complication as a suggestion. I'm going to go on with that and see what is the complication about. That's where plot unfolding machine enters plays an interesting role in the game. Complication is here. That's a 7. 7 is someone needs help badly. Alright, I wonder what's going on. As we go out, the doors open of the outpost, and the scouts of the domain of Prius are leading the PCs. We only notice that there is a big crowd of people waiting to enter. The soldiers of the fortress are struggling to keep hold of these hungered people, thirsty people, and poverty people, thugs, thieves, all alike. There's like a big crowd of people, and the scout a bit surprised, looks around and says, "It has gotten worse." They just want to survive. There's barbarian wars around us. The clans are not exactly friendly to neutrals or friendly to people fleeing one tribe to another to survive. And the scout says, "It's not our problem. We are here for a reason." "How do you mean it's not your problem? This is a domain of Prius. Aren't you supposed to be the great church of all times? Protect the people, the innocent, and the fleeing people who need your aid." "It is, but we need to do it under the appropriate circumstances." "Yes, that's what everybody says, as long as they run out of money, wealth and gold, and then it's no longer in their interest, right? This is how always... That's why people decide to live in the forest. They don't want to be under your silly queen who's supposedly protecting everybody." Stop talking nonsense. I'm gonna see what this scout will say from here. I'm gonna guess he's going to take... Let's see, we need some sort of reaction, right? Scene unfolding machine is good for NPCs. We've got here the NPC contribution. I like this one with a D100. 49. Behaves strangely, sensitive to what PCs do or say. Alright, so the scout is gonna take a look. Be careful with what you say about the queen. You're in no position to give opinions when you're not asked. "Sure thing," says Goltas. "What do we do now? Go through the crowd?" And he's thinking, and he's gonna say, "No, follow me. We're gonna take an alternative route. I know a way." And surprisingly, he's going to take us to some underground vaults that seem to be here before the fortress even exists. And Hydra's gonna assume this is not something this scout would be allowed to do. And she's gonna prompt this. It's like, "Are you sure Annabella would like us going through here just to avoid the crowd?" Let's see what's the scout's answer. There's the oracle here, subjective oracle. No, interaction oracle is the one I want to use. This one represents NPC responses. Wait, this is a D8, right? Not crazy. I need a D10. No, this is a D10. Okay, never mind. 1. No, definitely not, he will say. Of course he will not like it. But she said to put the mission above anything else, and that gives us certain rights that not even the Church of Prius are supposed to break. I see, so we're doing things not exactly officially. The scout will not respond to this, and they proceed through the dungeons of this fort. I'm gonna assume that's a new scene, and I'm gonna let Prompty Question ask me or myself a question about this place. Location questions. Maybe you can learn something more about these dungeons. 77. That stands for... How crowded, packed, or loaded is this place? Alright, that's a good question. So the fortress itself is pretty packed in terms of priests, but incredibly empty in terms of civilians. That makes it not a place of shelter, which explains why they are not letting anyone get inside. The dungeons themselves are empty by nature. They are dark. They are falling in stones and old, like extremely opaque and dark old stones from probably an old civilization, maybe the times of the ruins of Symbaroum, probably from the times of the ruins of Symbaroum, and they go through. So I'm gonna move to the next scene and expect that the characters just go through a dark dungeon tunnel just to get out further away in this land. And to advance this, I will need to roll a modified proposal. That's the plot unfolding machine rules. In order to advance this track, I need to really run some randomness. Let's go for it. Number 1. It's an interruption with a random prompt. Okay, so I need to go to this side and play something else. 7. Action of a relevant actor. So somebody will do something as we go through these tunnels. We need to see who. Number 2 stands for Annabella, of course. So the scout was taking us through some tunnels that are not exactly allowed for any other people to go through. And the scout was playing, I don't know if he was doing it with real permission or not, but Annabella will be here. So I'm gonna ask, will Annabella be angry about this, that we're here? Or maybe she will do something else. So let's see. 1 is strong no. So she's definitely not angry. That's good. So Annabella's what she wants to say then? Why is she here? What does she want? Let's roll a want, because I really don't know what she will want. 12. Want to transport a convoy of resources. Of course you want something else, right? So Annabella's coming here. With what exactly? What does she want to transport? I'm gonna go for an open oracle idea here. Maybe an adjective and subject. I don't know if it will make sense. I really hope it does. What does she want us to bring? 30. 30 stands for something rocky, solid, large, gigantic. I'm gonna stay with rocky, if that makes sense. So maybe it's a stone or some other piece related to the stone we have to recover. 78, calendar, end of period, age, time. All right, that's what I'm coming with. I'm coming up with something. So Annabella will come just behind the scout and the PCs who are going through some tunnels just to avoid the crowd at the door. Wait, she says. And everybody turns around, and the scout, kind of nervous, turns around as well, thinking he did something wrong. There is something else. You, the goblin, and she points to Goltas. Goltas raises a brow. Your runes. When were you baptized? Excuse me? What do you mean? Where they were impregnated on you. I'm gonna assume the background of Goltas, the runic warrior, was also supported by Hydra, the sorceress. She looks at Hydra, and Hydra will say, 2 moons ago. Why? I think I've seen those runes before. I have something that I need you to take with you. Here, take this. And she gives some sort of a rune that has very, very similar patterns to what Goltas has in his body. And before taking it, Goltas will say, wait, what is that? What will it do? Not a big fan of things with symbols. First question. Does Annabella herself know what does this do? Oh, sorry, what I'm doing. I still think this is a D10. I keep bothering with this guy. Answer is 6. Weak, yes. So she knows a little bit, but not a lot about the stone. So the question is, what will she reveal about it? Let me super quickly figure what does she want to say about that. I'm gonna say action and subject 76. Propose. I don't know if this will work. 34. A fancy. 62. Power. Alright. What I come with those words is the following. She says, we found this in this place. And it just came to my mind that it matches your ruins. Your own ruins, Goblin. Yes, and what do I do with that? That's a question for you to figure. But it's very likely going to, if our scribes are correct, potentially empower your own birthmarks. Hydra's gonna make some sort of analysis, figure out if she learned something else about this thing, which I think it's probably a good thing, but nothing is good in Symbaroum without corruption attached to it. She's gonna roll a resolute on F5, but this thing is gonna be hard. I'm gonna add some difficulty to it. So it's 15 minus this. 15 minus 4, that means a minus 4 difficulty. So she needs to roll 11 or less to figure out something else about this. That's an 8, that's a success. So let's figure something else about this. I'm gonna go to the evil purposes or motivations for this stone and figure out something else. I hate when the dice don't match the size, sorry. 83. Defy a prophecy, whatever the cost. Okay, and what is the prophecy about? I lost a die, come here. No! Ah, here you are. 63 and 72. The prophecy is about an offering, and 72 a protocol. All right. Stop with the dice rolling already. Hydra is gonna learn and add the following. This stone this is not natural and it's not old. It has been crafted, and not long ago, she says. It might have been crafted at the same time you were baptized, Goltas. Should I worry? Says Goltas. Probably not. But it's tied to an old prophecy. And now it's somehow linked to your own runes. I would say just keep it, because if anything should happen to it, you should be able to interpret it. Me? Interpret some runes? What are you talking about? We'll see. I think we're losing enough time. We should go. We have a long time until we get to the North Forest. And the scout nods. Anyways, I think it's gonna be safer in your hands. That's what our scribes say, so I wanted to give it to you. Now go. And I hope to have good news upon your return. And she leaves. So, I'm gonna add this thing that happened here around an active lead. Probably it's an active lead. It can be also a trouble, so we're gonna call it Goltas Stone. Can be both a trouble and a lead to something. We've got 4 viewers. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this is making sense so far. Don't hesitate to jump in, add something, ask something. I'm very happy to have players watching. Yes, hey multiplayer. You love your role playing. I have difficulty playing like this, just doing it in my head and writing, but blocks me, I think. Well, I think it's practice makes the master, so I don't know. I really don't have a benchmark. I admit this is a very hard way to play, but in general playing alone is difficult. Here I have the luxury of being streaming and talking to something, but if I were not streaming, I would be doing these dialogues on my head with much less level of detail. So that's why I prefer vocalizing it, because it forces me to put things in word, and when I hear myself, it helps me like catch up with my own. When writing, it's also great because you have the time. You can take all the time that you need, but it's very easy to go so slowly that's no longer that attractive. Maybe for me, it's like when I write, I feel like my head is a bit faster than what I'm writing. So it's like, yeah, I want all of this to happen and I want to describe this word or this place, which in voice or thinking it takes 1-2 seconds. But if I have to write it down, I need to narrate it a lot. Yeah, giving yourself permission is also super. Like, make mistakes, contradict yourself. I have probably done it a few times already. But also lower the barrier. I don't expect this is an artistic piece of art. It's very far from it. Yeah. I've heard this rubber duck thing lately. Okay, let me resume. But yes, I don't know what kind of hints I could give, but yes, lower the barrier, like lower the expectation helps a lot. Just go for it and allocate time where you play and separate it from the world building, because it's very easy to just write on prep, write about the world and the stuff and the characters and the terrible dangers around them, and then we just postpone getting in our character's point of view. And my opinion, that's what I want to do. I want to roleplay these characters and then figure out the rest as we go. All right. Yes, those are good points. Yeah, works wonders to think straight and keep things clear. It's not easy. And it's also, yeah, finding your own setup and so on. Be careful not to be distracted with tools, because tools are very addictive, and then you're forever preparing a game. 90% of the time you're preparing, working the tools, setting up the perfect game, and then you're playing like 10 minutes and it's like, I'm burned out. Yeah. Alright, let's proceed. So in this scene, this interruption happened, which added some twists to the game. Now Goltas is personally tied to the plot, and the characters, with the permission of Annabella, feel better because these dungeons are not so forbidden. I mean, they're probably forbidden, but she's making definitely an exception, which makes this very, very important for the domain of Prios to, let's say, be flexible. That's so far what I know. They come out of the dungeons and they proceed to the north, where a long trip is expecting them. I'm gonna go and move on to the next scene. Plot Unfolding Machine recommends an 8. I don't know if I will leave or remove these recommendations of Plot Unfolding Machine. It recommends a specific random prompt. Let's go on with it. That's why I'm testing it. So the Plot Unfolding Machine says that in this point I need to confront a story trope. Let's see which one. 2. The angry side of the Voivod. Alright, that makes sense. I wonder if they're going to attack right away and then we will have a combat. I don't know if I want to have a combat, but what am I doing? Are they going to attack? 1. 1 is a strong no. Or don't know, can't tell actually. Which one I want to use? Is this a subjective question? Whatever, we can't tell. Okay. Let's put the Voivod. Unfortunately, I have the sticker of their leader. So Chieftain Rothers will show up on the way. Is he alone? I guess it's very unlikely he's alone, so I'm gonna roll twice and keep the lowest. 4. Subjectively, no, and he's not alone, and actually he's with a large group of his barbarians. Yes, I usually roll a lot more in dialogues. The result is that the games tend to be very slow. Yes, this happens to me too. I tend to roll a lot on oracles as well. But there's some point where you just have to stop rolling and make it up by yourself. It's like there's no other option. You cannot roll dice until you figure out exactly every single word of an NPC says. Just roll once or twice and figure out the rest. That's what I do. So, this is now here we have a great example, right? So our characters are traversing the plains. I'm gonna move them somewhere around here. They're probably following the river. It's usually a good idea to not get lost. And here we have an encounter. Because the Vaivod clan, one of the barbarian, gonna make things a bit smaller, is going to find us here. The question is what they will want. So fortunately Game Unfolding Machine has a want table somewhere around NPC enemies. Is he an enemy? He should be an enemy, let's be frank with ourselves. We've got to roll 2 things. An imminent intention is important, and impression. These 2 things, these 2 tables are very cool. It's for NPCs that are, let's say, unfriendly to us. 5. Achievement produces awe and wonder. So something they did is actually impressive. I don't know what that means. And 9 in the imminent intention is endanger or damage an object of value. That's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. Our characters are walking by the river. Yes, exactly. NPCs' desires and motivations is good. Don't worry. Yeah, but look at this table when you feel this is like NPC interaction. When you face an NPC that's not liking you, these 4 tables can work wonders. This for me. Let's see. So, as we walk by the river, we will see a barricade, as if they were preparing for something. This barricade looks. Let's get some location generator and generate purpose or worth or feature, maybe feature. 8. Magical, supernatural, esoteric, or evil. Okay. We follow the river and we will see the man of Rothras, the chief of the clan Vaivod. At once, like in one side, they look like expecting us, and we see Rothras mounting not a horse, but a tremendous beast, like something we've never seen before. It's like a monster. He has it under control. Behind him, 4 of his barbarian tribal warriors who are on foot are wearing incredibly huge 2-handed battle axes. With them, there is other people, constructors, builders. They seem to be preparing something around a sacred rite area. They seem to be preparing it as they also bring some of their shamans, and it's like pretty impressive build up what they're doing. And as soon as he sees us, we were not hiding in for any particular reason, although we should be more careful. To be honest, we haven't. He comes to us in mounting his beast, gives us a very, very hard look. I was expecting you, prisoners. We might be prisoners, but we are no longer yours, says Hydra. What do you want, Rothras? What I want... I forgot what did he want, we said. I forgot what I rolled here. I think they want to... No. That's what happens when I distract myself. But I think he wanted to endanger or damage an object of value. If you don't give me the Stone of Ixar, we are going to do something that you will all regret. And what is that? Look by yourself. And he turns to his left just to indicate a huge pillar and 4 shamans doing a ceremony. I'm running out of ideas here. What I want to do is the following. I'm gonna go to the rituals page and roll a random ceremony that could be occurring right now. But it's something related to, for sure, what we are doing here. 140. Rituals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So D12 rituals. Let's see what they're doing. Oh, there's one here. 13. Okay, I'm gonna skip the last one and count for 12. They are doing or performing a ritual, if we manage to know what it is, number 9. That is 1, 2, oh, there were many more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wow. Okay, anyways, the 9th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. An exorcism. Really? The mystic can banish a spirit possessing a creature or person. The mystic gets 3 attempts to succeed. The test's resistance being the resolute of the possessing spirit. Alright. See by yourself, he says. Turns left, and around this pillar where the 4 shamans are standing doing some sort of praying to the old gods, we see a big altar. And in that big altar, we see one of the shamans who is from the Vayod clan, our clan, and also a friend of Hydra herself. What are you trying to do? Don't go beyond what you can understand, fool, says Hydra, very angry about seeing her friend being exorcised. We are doing what is needed to do to find what we are looking for. And let me guess, you don't have it either. But you will get it to us instead of getting it to the wrong people. They're going to offer us giving them the Stone of Ixar if we find it, rather than to Annabella. And the scout is with us, and he's gonna say, by no means we're going to allow that. I will need a scout. Portrait. 1 second, please. I'm gonna take no more than 5 seconds to find an interesting scout character to put just here. Figurine, paste. That's it. So the scout is gonna say, that's not negotiable and out of your hand. Do you want to tell that to my men? He points his thug warriors. And I don't think. Now, The Church of whatever, says Goltas. This will have consequences. What do I do for me? Like, this is a tough situation I cornered myself into. We've been caught by... I mean, maybe it's only 4 warriors we would have to fight. But we don't really want to fight. The question is if we have an escape. And what Rothras wants is important here. So he wants the stone, and he won't stop until he finds it or gets him for him. So we're just 4. And it would be a fight against 4. Measuring a fight here. What could we offer him? I think Rothar could negotiate a bit, or Hydra is the persuasive one to negotiate something. She's got persuasive 10. It's not a great, but she would avoid a fight. But what could we offer them? Okay, I'm gonna make it easy for myself. Are these guys even willing to negotiate? 5. Subjectively speaking, no, not willing to negotiate, but what? That made it worse. They're not willing to negotiate us letting us go. He must want something with this stone, so we need to know in the background what does he want. I'm gonna roll an evil purpose for the chieftain of this tribe and see if we can find any useful reason. 97. An attempt to remain anonymous. Weird. Okay, let's move on. So Hydra's gonna say, we prefer to avoid a bloodshed. Rothras. But it's non-negotiable. The stone will go to the domain of Prius. And that's what the clans have arranged, and you must agree and accept what has been agreed. Let's roll a persuasion to see if we can win him. 9, that's a success. What do you suggest? We need the stone for the survival of my people. That stone is known to be able to let us live in the Davokar. What? We did not know that. You didn't, because you're a fool and blinded by whoever pays the biggest price. The stone can protect those who roam in the Davokar. Yes, those who can survive its touch, you mean, and hear what's in the beyond before going mad. And survive in the Davokar. Madness is not a trouble when death is at the cliff. Let us find the stone first, Chief. It will be in your benefit. We know where to find it. All we can do is try to work things out with the tribes to seek for a neutral understanding. Okay, I guess that worked out somehow well. We need a reaction. Behavior, no, an opinion. All right, let's get an opinion. There's an opinion in Game Unfolding Machine as well, but I prefer the one in Scene Unfolding Machine. Yeah, let's get an opinion. 17. He's going to do something about it too. I really like Scene Unfolding Machine, guys. I really need to improve this, take the best of it and make it even better. So this is what he says, and this is very helpful for me to move on forward. Fine, Hydra. But do not even think of disappearing from our sight once you find it. And rest assured, my men will be also looking for it. Just pray you do not encounter them, as I will not stop them from taking what is theirs and defeat whatever stands in their way. And they look at each other. I guess we can work out with that. So I'm gonna make sure this Voivode clan is gonna remain a problem for us. Angry side of the Voivode. Ah, it's still here. Okay, so I'm not going to add anything. And we're gonna go through. Now pass, but do not even think of interrupting this ritual. That I cannot do. She's my friend. You have to stop this right away. She is our only way to find the stone, Hydra. You don't know what you're dealing with. So Hydra has a decision. She either reveals the secret of the imp, or she rescues, or she lets her friend die, essentially. You have to give us time, Rother, to find it. We will let you know. There's no way I can trust you. You betrayed us twice. I need to think a little bit what Hydra would do. Rescue her friend, get in trouble. Like rescue her friend by the force, that would be in a fight, that would throw away everything we were just negotiating for. Option 2, she would reveal the secret of the imp, which will probably interest him, and then let her exorcised friend go, or her possessed friend released. Or 3, maybe she can say yes, whatever, and try to sneak in the ritual and interrupt it by force, which is also troublesome. I'll think about that in the background and move on in a minute. Hey Jonathan, welcome. Just bought the plot unfolding machine. Super, thank you so much from my heart. I really hope you like it. It's really heartwarming to see other players use my tools. I hope you like it. And I'm super pumped to play it. These videos have been amazing. Thanks, man. Thank you for being here. I really hope you take something out of it and have fun. So Hydra's gonna say, she's not going to let her friend be suffering. So, if you stop it, she will say, if you stop the exorcism and release my friend, I will tell you where to find the Stone of Ixar. I'm all ears, says Rothers. This is going to hurt. The scout won't like it. And let me think, I need to ask if the scout is, Rother is paying attention at the scout, because the scout would not allow us to reveal Annabella's secret or intel. That would, let's say, sabotage their own mission, or at least compromise it. So we need to ask if this scout of Annabella is willing to fight, and this is what Rother is trying to read in him. 4. No and no and he's going to leave yes, not only he will not intervene, but he will also try to save someone's life, which is weird. Why would he do that? It doesn't make sense. So I'm not gonna accept that answer, but I'm gonna read as it follows. If you do this, you're going to walk to the North Forest on your own and consider yourselves traitors of Annabella. Rother will say, "You cannot do this. We're trying to find a middle point here. Orders are orders, and you're not supposed to reveal our hand." For Rother, this is perfect. I mean, we're fighting to each other and we are splitting each other apart. We need to convince this guy to let us do this. For the sake of everybody. What's Rother's persuade? 9. Okay, that's not great. 5. Oof. That's a good success. He's gonna knuckle his neck. I hope the God forgives you. As of this time, I will be the one forgiving you. Do it. And he's gonna give up. Now, Hydra could lie, but I'm not... It's a perfect moment to lie. She's gonna lie, because she can. She's gonna say, there is an imp, that part is true. There is an imp who is tied to the strength and shadow of the stone. And he's gonna say, but everybody's been saying so far, the stone of Ixar is not alive, it cannot have any shadow. Well, the stone of Ixar has. Bullshit. You have seen its marking. It's definitely carrying a shadow. And if you're smart, listen to me. It's to the northwest, we are looking for an imp. If we split, we might find him. Together. In no universe I'm going to work with you, Hydra. Then you know what to look for. I've made my part, now release my friend. An imp, you say? I mean, will he be satisfied with that? It's a bit of too much of a stretch. But for the sake of the game, I'm gonna say yes. Fine. But your friend is staying with us, and only if you find a stone and let us know that you have it, and bring it to us, or share its secrets, then you will see your friend. I can live with that. Okay, so this was a long scene, and now we are an hour of the stream. I think it's a great time to take a pause. What happened so far was a very tense situation with this chief Rothras of the clan Voivode. He wants obviously the same stone the players want. We did negotiate, at least not fighting right now, but he said he will not be friends either, which is a good compromise. And supposedly they will release someone who they were possessing just to find the stone by their own means. And Hydra managed to tell them a different alternative way and most efficient way, which is to find an imp, which is a bit of a stretch, but let's assume they know what an imp is and how to find it in the Davokar forest. But at least to get on with this part, I think I'm gonna make this compromise. Also, we succeeded our persuasion rolls, so that gives us an edge, and if he kills us, he will lose this information, and he needs us. So for this reason, he's gonna let us leave. And also we now know they are doing some secret rites or shamanistic rites in this area, so we also know that and can have that to our advantage. With this, guys, I'm gonna take a break for today. 1 hour session is good. It was not easy, and yes, I'm struggling a lot. I hope you liked it so far, and oh, there's a message. When I get to my fifth game, I'll be using Goom and Pum to set things up. Not sure if I'm going to use TTS, Obsidian, Excalibur or whatnot. Yes, tools are always hard. But my only suggestion is don't put tools in front of your games. Philip, try to get to the game and let tools be in your way. Like, serve your way and not be in your way, if that makes sense somehow. With that said, I am going to take a break, and thank you so much. We're going to continue playing tomorrow. So far, Plot Unfolding Machine did its part. It was not extremely easy, but it helped me move on and put things on my way. So I don't know if you've been paying attention. So compared to Mythic, I did not propose next scenes. I did not propose to have the door crowded with people in the fort. I did not propose Annabella to arrive and give us an artifact that would help us. And third, I also did not propose myself to find Rothras, the chief of this clan, doing a right just to manipulate us to get what he wants, right? So in this point of view, Plot Unfolding Machine helped me come up with the travel, the adventure towards a point, which is like we are eventually going to arrive to the forest and start looking for the imp, but in between this stuff happened, which in my opinion made the game interesting. So let's see how it will proceed. I have about 8 or 10 scene beats from here for the next sessions. With that, yes, Jonathan, anyone is welcome to try. This is a preview version of Plot Unfolding Machine V7, so if it's on itch.io, the preview version, really looking forward to see how it works for others. Yes, thank you so much, David, Jonathan, Philip, any other viewer who is there. I hope you learned something, you had fun, and let's stay in touch for the next session. Until the next one, bye-bye.